guys, welcome back to All Things Faith, Love and Purpose. My name is Kyoratile and this is my YouTube channel. So it is August, it is Women's Month, and as per this channel's tradition, we are having our Candid Conversations series. And in today's video, I am so excited to have a sister, a friend, and a woman that I really look up to, Refentse Seleti, and she'll be taking us through, life after divorce as someone who has experienced that, the journey of that, and how is life after that. And I think this is a very important conversation because especially in the Christian community, it is a taboo topic. But this is a safe space, and she is my girl, so we're going to, have a chat about this taboo topic, and I hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to love her. She is a woman who is just amazing. She epitomizes strength, resilience, and just the fear of God. The Jesus girl. You already know with that name, or there is fire. There is a lot of oil there. So I hope that you guys are going to enjoy this video and, allow us to be vulnerable, allow us to be real, honest. And we hope that this video will minister to you in one way or the other. So without any waste of time, let us get right into the video.
We are literally. I wish we were recording.
We are
literally spilling the tea today.
Spilling the tea, literally and figuratively.
We are.
Let's greet the people, Pila, like Rabatawati and Pila.
Like people who are.
Hey guys! The problem having a person that you're close with on your YouTube channel is that now they make you act like you are not a professional. So let us continue ourselves.
Hey guys, and welcome to Gil's channel.
Hey, so yeah guys, this is Refentse. Introduce yourself. You said I shouldn't ask you this question, but Jesus girl, introduce yourselves to those who do not.
Who are not familiar.
Who are not familiar with the powerhouse that you are.
Hey guys, my name is Refentse. Other people pronounce it as Refentse.
Oh, can I come up? So get Refentse.
Darling.
Oh, Refentse.
That's the one.
Allow me to reintroduce her. Refentse Seleti.
Please.
Yes.
Either way, potato, it's the same thing. What do I even say about myself?
Girl,
I'm a Jesus
minister,
girl, guys.
A lover of God.
Okay, you gave me an idea.
Yes, founder of Asijiki. And what else? You do a lot of stuff. So
we should have just let her do the intro.
Ask her because you don't want to. YouTuber.
Upcoming.
Yeah, she has paused at the moment. What else?
What else? I'm the founder of Asijiki. It is a campaigning movement that advocates for sexual purity. Yes. I recently founded the Jesus Girl Gang, which is a movement which just promotes a prayerful life amongst young women.
On Facebook. Hey.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I'm just a lover of the Lord. I love the Lord. I'm a minister of the gospel. I'm a PK, just a disclaimer. And had I not been a PK, then I would not know this woman.
Yes.
Thank
we
God
thank the kingdom
who makes all things work together for our good. Today I have a sister. I have a friend. Let's get over that.
Okay, let's get over ourselves. So yeah guys, as I've already mentioned, and as you can see by the title, we are speaking about life after divorce. And Refentse here, my friend Shem Wanabat. She has been through the most, and she's recently divorced officially in Feb.
No, in June.
In June.
Month.
Oh no, in Feb. Okay, no, that was something else. Yeah,
you have to go onto my channel to know what is happening. Yes, go onto her
channel to find out the real tea. No, we're not gonna spill the beans too much. We're just gonna talk about the journey and all of that. But yeah, so a month divorced.
Yeah, a month and what's the date today? Literally a month and 2 weeks.
Sure. And first things first, how did you feel when I told you that I want us to have this conversation not too long after, officially being divorced? I mean, some might say it's still too early. Why are you talking about it? Are you not healing? So what were your first thoughts when I told you, gal, let's have a topic about, you going through a divorce?
First thoughts, I was excited.
Yeah, you were like, oh my word, when? I am there.
I have been waiting for such an opportunity because I feel like we downplay the subject in the Christian community. We give it a sense of authority that it does not have. And I feel like being silent about it silences our power. It silences the authority that we have in Christ. I was excited that there's a conversation that is going to liberate people. Yes. I was excited that this is a conversation that's going to liberate me as well. And with your stating, people saying it's too soon, people saying, are you not healing? This is part of the healing.
It is. And healing is very relative. There is no straight, narrow way of how healing is done. There's no method.
Different strokes for different folks.
I think that's also very important for people, not only with divorce, but with whatever situations that we might find ourselves in. There's no way of talking. Linda, that was my way of healing, talking about the things that I've been through, even though, some family members were like, why are you airing our dirty laundry? And I can imagine that is something you might have experienced. Maybe family or people telling you, why are you...
Not from my family, but
people,
whenever the shoe fits, people wear it. So people have been putting on the shoe, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with me. I am all for transparency, and that's one thing that I love about you and about your channel, that we are all for authenticity. We tend to appear in spaces and platforms where people look at us, they want our God, but they can't take him because it seems like he's for the perfect. But when we come out with our own mishaps and our own dirty laundry, then the glory of God is really seen.
Definitely.
To say there's no way she could have survived had she not been with the Lord.
Sure,
and this
good.
Is how we are able to confidently quote Psalm and say, listen, let Israel say, had it not been for the Lord, our enemies would have... Let me not preach.
No, preach on, girl. That is the brand. This channel. So you better be free. I agree so much with that. There's a saying, God cannot heal who you pretend to be.
True.
And ultimately, he cannot use you if you are not your authentic self. So I think, Lynn, I agree so much with that. That is really the essence of me as well. Or I cannot... If I don't tell my story, then I might be depriving another person that opportunity to see, or even though they have been through this, they can also heal. And I hope that this conversation will do the same, for some of you who might have been through that experience. Now let us get into the conversation for real.
We're getting into the gist of it.
We are getting into the gist of it. Obviously, when we get married, we never get married with the whole idea, I'm getting married to get divorced. So for you, in your experience, when did it come to that result, I'm getting divorced? And especially as Christians, whereby, like I said, divorce is a taboo. Somebody, it's a sin. So take us through, when did it actually get to that, and how did you feel about that decision?
Okay, I can't answer this question without backtracking. So 2019, I get married to this guy who I met. I'd known him for 10 months. And I know people are going to judge me because they're going to say you married too soon.
I judged you. I judged you. I'm going to be honest.
You didn't know him. Whatever. But anyway.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm not going to defend myself because people date for 5 years. They get married and they
There's no method. There's no routine. And how long did you guys date, Kana? Besides knowing him, I guess you knew him for 10 months.
I met him. I got engaged to him 2 months later. 10 months later, we were married.
Okay. Continue.
I'm continuing. Right, so I get married to this person, and shortly, I think a month after our first year anniversary, a whole bomb was dropped on me. And it was so random. It was so random in that we had just gotten back from celebrating
Your
first year anniversary, and I was extremely love struck. I was still
Love is blind.
I was still in the honeymoon phase. I could not tell you that divorce was coming my way, or there was an element or a sense of it in any way. So December of 2020, the news came to me, and I just thought, you know what, we're going through a phase. We've never really been through a hard time together. We've never had like conflict, so we don't know how to deal with it, and maybe this is like just a response to the conflict that is there. And we go on just a few months just trying to in fact it was just 4 months. Shame, it was just 4 months
of marriage.
No, it was just 4 months, like between the let's get a divorce and sure let's divorce. That was like a 4 months process, where in that 4 months you try seeking help, you try conversation, and none of it is working. And you're there thinking, I'm a Christian, how am I going to show my face in the public?
And you were married for how long at that time?
A year,
okay.
Like a solid year.
Sure.
And when that came about, it broke me. I do not want to lie. It broke me. It made me question a lot of things about myself. It made me question a lot of things about the woman that I think I am. It made me question a lot of things about the God who I serve. It scared me. I mentioned that I'm a PK, so you can understand the intensity.
Pressure.
You understand the pressure. How does it happen? Did you not pray enough? Because the first thing Bazalani will ask you is, did you pray? And forgetting that much as we pray about everything, we have a responsibility as human beings. God does not impose his will on us, but he allows us the privilege of choice in our praying, in our seeking his help. And it took 5 months for me to digest the fact that my husband requested for a divorce. It took me 5 months. In that 5 months, I was traumatized. In that 5 months, a lot happened. I was sleepless. Like, I would sit like this. But people would be asleep. I'd be like this. 5 o'clock, I ready myself for work. I show up like everything is okay.
Nothing happened.
I starved myself. At the beginning of 2021, I went on a fast, and it was just that, it was a fast. But after the fast, I was hurting, and so I just started starving myself. And it seemed like I was continuing with my fast. My body was already used to not eating. So when Bazalani are fasting, they assume I'm fasting. And I lost a lot of weight.
And already,
this is me. This is my full self.
So imagine with fasting and starving yourself.
My collarbones showing all over the place. When the wind blew, I went with it. It was bad. I would cry every night. And in these 5 months, because I'm also filled with shame, nobody knew what was going on.
Sure.
I did not talk to my father.
Sure.
I did not talk to my mother. I remember I only spoke to one pastor in whom I had confidence. And I told him, listen, Muruti, this is what's going on. My marriage is in shambles. In fact, it's lost. It's no more. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, who to turn to. I can't even say anything to my parents. And I'm still in the church. And I'm still showing up. But now I'm showing up for people. I'm not showing up for God. I'm showing up because I don't want people asking me why. Also, I live with my parents at the time. So it's a question to my dad. How?
Why are you here?
Why are you not getting ready? How do I say I'm not going? Why are you not going? What excuse do I come up with? And so I would wake up every Sunday morning, show up for church, lead the Sunday service, let glory fall onto the church, and I'm weeping and I'm broken. and I can't say anything to anyone because I fear being judged by the church.
Abantu bazothini.
Abantu bazothini.
Hey.
Like the people will backslide.
Yeah.
If the whole pastor's kid is going through a divorce,
Who am I?
Who am I?
Like people like to hold
people
PKs
take us as the measure
to a standard. Yeah.
Exactly. They hold us to the measure of Christ, which we are not. Everybody should hold themselves to the standard of Christ, but we should never measure who we are supposed to be in Christ through the next person.
Yeah.
And so it was a hard season. It's a season where I sought the Lord. It's a season where I wept. Initially, I would weep for my marriage because who would not? Like you said, none of us gets married. I don't care. Like even if you marry for wealth, you hope that this person lives.
Yes.
Like you know, even if you're just marrying for survival, your earnest desire is that this works out and this is for my whole life. And when it wasn't gonna be for my whole life and it was just gonna be for a year, my whole world shook. Because I'm thinking the plans I made with this man, I must now go and dismantle like every one of them. Every one of them.
Because obviously you plan your life around this person.
Of course.
And now that comes crashing down.
Yo.
And how did that affect you? Like your confidence, your self-esteem, considering the circumstances behind the divorce and you trying to make it work and this person still. Like, how did that... Because when you told me, I was like, I can just imagine how as a woman what that does to you, you know? Like, yeah. How did that affect you, your self-esteem, your confidence?
Yeah. I like I mentioned, I got to a place where I questioned a lot of things about me. Because in my space, in my world as an individual, I'm a strong person. Not strong in a sense of ubekezela, but I'm a strong character.
Resilient.
I'm resilient. Yes. And in this one instance of my life,
Your resilience.
My resilience falls away.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm stripped naked of everything I have known about myself. I question how I speak. I question how I look. I even go to a point of questioning how I smell. I question my intelligence. I question my spirituality.
Yeah.
Do I pray right? Do I know God? Do I hear God? Am I submissive? King, do I not know how to love? Am I not appreciative of the next person? Am I not appreciative of their efforts? What is wrong with me? Because there's no way that things can happen and it not come back to what is wrong with me.
Yeah, there's no way you cannot question yourself.
Yeah, there were questions of what is wrong? Do I laugh too loud? Do I move too slow? Am I too flat-butted? And what's wrong? Like, am I too much of a yellow bone? Help me out. Give me a solution.
What is it?
Help me understand.
To have that closure available.
And the saddest thing is, to date, I do not have an answer. And it's one of the things that makes it difficult
to heal as well.
To go through the process, because it builds a sense of fear in you to say,
you still question no matter what went wrong. What is it?
What's gonna happen next? Like, because guys, listen, DM me. I'm single. I believe in marriage so strongly. Okay, Gadlala, but I believe in marriage so strongly, and I believe that I'll get married again,
definitely,
one day. But I still battle with the question of, will that marriage work out? Because I don't know what was wrong in the first one. Will that one work out?
Naturally, Velo, you should question Velo, going forth, how will I be better? How will I do better
exactly
at this? Because obviously, naturally, you'll blame yourself, even though to a certain extent as my sister was.
You know.
you know. I won't say it's your fault or anything. So, but obviously that comes natural. So
Yeah,
you struggled with that.
You go back and you do a whole SWOT analysis, like you are a business model, and you try to figure yourself out. And tell you what, my self-esteem was so destroyed that I did not want to show face.
Yeah.
I'm very vocal on social media.
Yeah.
I'm extremely vocal. I'm a very transparent person. But in that season, because I did not want to put up a facade.
Yeah.
I did not want to pretend. There was no way I could be in the eye of the public and not bleed. Because who I am is show them. If you're going to appear, then show them who
The
you
real
are.
you, yeah.
And so that made me cringe and it made me afraid of showing up, because what if they don't receive me?
Sure.
What if they laugh? What if they bash me? What if they ridicule me?
Because people are judgmental, Christian or not.
People are judgmental. I am judgmental.
We all are.
As Christian as I
We
am,
all are.
I am judgmental. And so I struggled. It affected positively though. It affected my job because then I gave myself to the work.
Sure.
I buried myself in the work. I made sure I don't pitch anywhere where I would be in the limelight. I withdrew. If you gave me this invitation at that time to say, no, keep busy, darling, keep busy. Who hectic? Keep busy.
And if there's a person who honors invites, it's definitely
if there's a
you.
person who you're gonna call and they're gonna show up,
it's
it's
you,
me.
yeah.
Right? But in that season, I was just like, guys, don't. Because I felt like it was written all over my forehead, even to people who did not know me, that Miguel didn't work out.
Yeah,
she's a failure. This one, she failed, and it's hard. But I think also I just did not want a whole pity party going on. I wanted to have the privacy of dealing with my pain without it being influenced by how Gil feels, by how my family feels. And those were part of the reasons why I withdrew. However, withdrawing made me extremely suicidal. Because how do I let out?
You're isolating yourself and you're not allowing others to show up for you.
How do I deal with this? This is a cross that is too heavy for me. It's not enough for me to pray about it on my own because I don't have the strength. I don't even have the words. I remember one day I came back from work and I just lied flat on the floor and I cried for a good 2 hours. I wept on the floor. When I woke up, my head was banging because I was dehydrated from all the tears that I had cried. And my mother would walk on my room. I'm a person when I usually just get back from work, shut the door, and I start praying. So the assumption would be
you're praying. You're
we
in the prayer closet.
She's slain, lying prostrate.
You are slain.
I am slain, and I am hurt, and nobody knows.
Sure, and I think that also shows the importance of community and people that you do life with, because no man is an island. You cannot do life alone. You cannot heal alone. In as much as you might think you're the strong person and I'm a strong independent girl, like it's to your detriment at the end of the day.
Like this whole no,
I don't subscribe to that content.
you only hold it where the blade is extremely sharp for it to cut you, and that's what happened with me.
Sure,
I isolated and I got cut.
So when did you okay, before we get there, then how did this affect your relationship with God? Because I can imagine it can have a dent. Because you're like, but God, you brought this person into my life.
A whole Jesus girl. Me. I'm like, Father, where are you?
You're questioning his very existence.
It doesn't make sense for this to... Listen, I confess the Romans 8:28. All things work together for good unto those who love the Lord. But I was not seeing this working out.
Where? How is this thing working out for good?
Okay, sharp. It's going to work out when? At least tell me when.
Before if it's like, when? Why? Why me?
Maybe it's necessary. No, the why me was not there. Maybe it's necessary. You know, hey, there's a story. Pella, there's no glory before a story.
Hey.
You know us. You know
Hey.
us. There's no
My
story
testimony,
without
my testimony,
Listen,
my story, my testimony.
But I hated God, and I told him, God, if this is you, I don't love you.
And that is to worship in spirit and in truth.
Yeah,
like being real.
Right now, I really don't love you. I don't think you are for me. I don't question your existence. You are there, but you are not for me. Because if you were, then something would be working out.
Yeah.
Also, just I never want to get into the details of what led to the divorce.
It's not necessary.
For the integrity. Guy and the person I was married to. But, you know, I really questioned God's role. I think more than anything, his role in my life. I think I felt like I understood my role in God's existence.
Sure.
And now I wanted to understand his in mine. Like, he had to reciprocate. Until I spoke to a friend of mine, she had no idea what was going on. Miguel kept calling me, asking me if I'm okay. She would randomly send me texts. I love you. Like, her text would just be there. An SMS.
And the things that you needed to hear
in this
at that
day.
time.
SMS. She could have just texted me, go WhatsApp where it's convenient. She goes, it was a big deal for me. I love you. Full stop. But that was God ministering his love to me through that person. And she calls me randomly one time. She's like, we need to talk. Like, we need to talk. You're scaring me. She's like, no, we need to talk. Just make time. We need to talk. And so one Sunday morning, I decide I'm going to be brave. Because much as I'm delaying the talking, my spirit is aware of what she wants to say. And she calls. I call her this Sunday morning. I'm busy cooking there, preparing Sunday course just before church. And she's like, where are you with the Lord? Like, what do you mean? I'm getting ready for church. She's like, yeah, I know you're getting ready for church. I know where you are with the church. But where are you with the
God,
Lord?
Yeah.
And I broke down. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I want to be in him. But right now, being out of him sounds like I'd be at a better place. I don't want to be in him because I feel like he's not for me. And she said to me, listen, God does not owe you anything. God owes you nothing. It does not matter what you go through and how hard it is. He does not owe you. And I tried to explain and I tried to justify my feelings and she still said, God does not owe you anything. And it made me hate God even more in that time. Because I'm like, how?
What do you mean?
If you are my father, how do you not owe me anything?
Sure.
Because everything that I desire, I must come to you for. Okay, Sharp, I desired a resolve. You're not giving it to me. At least give me peace. Like, at least just give me peace, gang, so that I can be okay. And because I was losing it,
I can imagine.
I was losing it. And somehow it was covered. You know how the Spirit of the Lord just, it engulfs you and it shields you. That your insanity is not seen by people. You are insane in your own space, but he makes you appear gracious before others. And I seemed okay before people, but I knew in my own space,
it's not.
I was insane.
Sure. And then also going into like the whole aspect of divorce, we all imagine already, divorce is just getting a paper, signing it, and it's all done.
The same way you get like
it's
a marriage certificate.
But it's actually more expensive, first of all, to get divorced and the process of that. So how was that process for you? Like, did you guys, were you married in community of property? Did you have that thing out? Now we have to, split whatever it is that we have. The expenses, divorce, like who covers those expenses? Just take us through the journey of, like how that affects you financially. It's an expensive process.
Getting married, go home affairs, get 75 rand. 75 bucks for you to get a marriage certificate, get married for free at home affairs.
It's done.
In your clothes, like this, I can pitch,
just
sign a paper,
just have
get
two
married.
witnesses, you're done.
Pay 75 rand, get married. Home Affairs does not give you the fine print that it costs more than 75 rand to get a divorce.
It's an expensive
Listen,
process.
besides the emotional texting, like you're saying, this is an expense you never anticipate.
And who pays this? The person who initiates, or when, or
one thing I love about South African legislature, it's very fair. You both incur legal costs.
But why must I incur if I did not ask for the divorce?
Because you were in the marriage.
Sure. So obviously
for the
that
mere
took
fact
a lot.
that you were in the marriage, you must now suffer. Even if it's not you who initiates, even if it's not you who wants the divorce, because what the legalities need to be carried out and the legalities need to be financed. And honestly, this is something that takes a toll on you financially. It's something that I was not financially prepared for.
You're not planning for that.
I was never planning for it. Listen, before we even get to divorce, if you are married to someone and you want to make marriage work, you go for counseling. Who does it for free?
That's expensive as well.
When you need to find a legal representative to come and represent you, even if there is no conflict, you need a legal document to be drafted to say we are no longer interested in this marriage and we are getting divorced under XYZ reasons, and this was our marital contract. Remember, marital contracts are different. Mine was in community of property. As different as they are, even if we are saying everyone must keep whatever they came into the marriage, it must still be drafted down on paper. It's a legal document. It will cost you money.
Okay, and so I don't want this video to be too long, but how did telling your family and obviously the church, did you have to make an announcement? I'm getting divorced, because when you get married, like in traditional churches, Melissa, Refentse is getting married,
and it was a whole celebration.
Yeah, so did you have to now announce it at church, being the pastor's kid?
Know what?
And how did your parents take it as well?
I feel like my father was very brutal about it, but before we get to that announcement, when I began to, or rather, there were some things that I would share with my dad, which I would find as difficulties, where I needed counsel. So I would talk to my dad on certain things, and I never told him about this one. But when I wanted to come out, he was the first person I spoke to. I went to him and I told him, yo, man, I didn't see.
This is what it is.
I didn't see. This is what your son is saying. Because my father considered that man as his son, rightfully so. And I said, well, this is what your son is saying. This is what where we are at. Did you tell him
the details as well?
He asked,
obviously,
and I had to. Shamefully so. Shamefully so, because now I'm afraid of how he's gonna view him. This is a man that I love versus my father's perception.
And you want your father to love this person.
And I want my father to love this person. But now I'm not going to my father because we are getting a divorce. I'm going to my father because I'm seeking for a solution before the divorce can happen. And he gave his counsel. He was very level-headed. I expected a typical, Muruti response that divorce is not in the will of God. My father said, we're going to have a sit down. We're going to solution seek if it's something that's on the table. He was not looking to impose. He said, we're going to sit down. We're going to find out with you and your husband what way forward you guys want after the conversation we shall have had. And I remember the day the meeting was to happen with our parents, my mother asked me, just a few moments before the meeting, my mother says to me, Sissy, so if your husband Vele says that he no longer wants to be married to you, Ridiring. And I said, if he doesn't want to be married to me,
what else can be done?
because I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna be miserable, and my misery will be accounted for. He will say, you said, I told you I don't want, but you forced, so deal with it. You know, I did not want that. I did not want anything to be imposed, because getting married to each other was not an imposed idea. It was our idea, it was our plan, and we made it happen. I can tell you there are a lot of things we challenged our parents on before we got married. And that says the marriage was our idea. They just supported. And in this case as well, they prayed, but they supported. They counseled, but they supported. And my dad advised me, he's like, I know you guys are a social media generation. Please don't be stupid. Don't do the whole social media shame and whatnot. No, don't. You don't need a pity party.
And preserve your dignity as well.
Yeah, preserve your dignity, but also preserve the honor of that man. If it becomes tarnished, let it not be on your account. Sure. You know, because we are taught to preserve the integrity of others. But my parents were very supportive. I remember telling my eldest sister, she broke down. My sister cried. My mother could not eat for several days. She didn't properly eat. She was very distraught. I could literally see my family inflicted with pain.
Sure.
From what I was going through. And I decided to let them deal with it before I moved on to my friends. When I told my friends, and I told them like way later. Oh, and by the time I started telling my friends, they already knew. Yeah.
Okay,
because when you're trying to preserve the integrity of the other person, it does not automate that it will be reciprocated. Do the same. But I've been blessed to have a very supportive structure. I've been blessed to have a family that prayed for me, a family that encouraged me. And when the announcement had to be made at church, my father waited, and I respect him for that. My father waited until the legal process started. Was done. Because he had a sense of, I don't want to announce that people are getting a divorce and then they work things out. Yes. And then now
that happens.
Yeah, and it happens. And now we go back to like, people and we're like,
just kidding.
April Fool in November. You understand? Yeah. So there was that element. But he did it, and this is why I'm saying I felt like he was brutal. I asked him, I was like, you know, I think we can do this now, because I'm starting to get frustrated by people asking me, and I don't want this to go around. One thing I did not want was a rumor in my name. I don't want Bazalwane to be tempted to gossip in my name. So please just tell the people, let it be known, contact the elders of the family, let them know, let them familiarize themselves with this new fact, so that when we meet, I'm not asked, hey, why these days you're always on your own, auntie, and then I break down in front of people and people just, you know, look at you funny, like, what's going on? So my father ascends the pulpit and he says,
and you were there, obviously.
I'm interpreting, and I serve in church.
So now you have to interpret.
No, I was not interpreting that
time.
That
specific. Okay.
That particular moment.
I was like, oh.
I was not interpreting.
Imagine you're interpreting.
But this is me seated front row, guys. This is me seated with a microphone in my hand. And my father's like, church, you know that we have introduced that Refentse would get married. We went to the wedding and she got married. We have witnessed her living in marriage. Unfortunately, the boat has sank.
Sure.
And literally this is what happened. My face dropped. I could not hold it up. Everyone is sitting behind me. I'm at the very front. Everyone is sitting behind me, but I could feel their stare.
Yeah.
I could feel that people's eyes are glued on me, and I could feel their pity. And it made me break down.
Sure. And I'm sure you told yourself, I'm not going to cry.
I was like, no, girl,
you got this.
You got this. You've been dealing with this. Like, you've been here for what? At the time, it was 10 months. Like, you've processed a lot in these 10 months. You're okay. And when that happened, yo, man, my heart, it broke. And after
something
church,
about that says, it's final. Like, this is.
Yeah, like,
this is happening.
You know when the mothers of the church know a thing, you're like,
it's done.
It's done. After church, they come to me and they hug me, but they want to get emotional after church. Now, I'm over the emotions because right after that, my father then says, we are going into the word. And then I have to be there like, Realinju.
Yeah, okay. Now you have to put your emotions aside, like okay,
right there. Stop
compose
crying.
yourself.
Stop crying. This is the kingdom of God. You held a sword in one hand and a brick in the other. I was literally in Nehemiah that day. Like wage war but build. Wage war but build. Listen, cry but do the work.
Sure.
And I remember my father refused for me to sit down. He would say preach, and I would tell him I don't feel like I can preach. Listen, you're not going to sit down. Go stand on that pulpit and preach. Because what is happening to you is not God saying you must be silent. What is happening to you is the devil trying to deter you of the assignment of God over your life. And if you allow him a chance, you are never going to come back. You are going to be gone and it's going to be forgotten. And listen, I thank God for that because I came back stronger. I came back better. I came back more fired up for Jesus because I understand it may be hard, but in the end, the glory that I will experience is, listen, all I have experienced is nothing. It cannot be compared to anything I have been through. And it may not make sense in the moment, but I look back on some things and I thank God. I don't thank God that my marriage failed, but I thank God that I was able to come out of it failing.
Sure.
Alive. Because I was very suicidal. I look at some things and I realize that marriage could have worked out. I could have been in it, but the purpose of God in my life
of your purpose
would have suffered.
Yeah. Sure.
The purpose of God in my life would have suffered. And there was no way. And I think when I began to understand and process this, I began to understand that the purpose and the plan of God is bigger. It should be a precedent. It should be my pursuit over me being gratified, because my marriage working out was to gratify my feelings. It's
sure.
As much as it's got something to do with the kingdom of God, it's got greatly to do with me.
Self-gratification.
Because I get married for me. Listen, God can desire for me to get married, but if I don't want, he can't force me.
That's true.
However, when I desire to get married and God makes it happen, I go with it because it's what I want. Now, I wanting to be gratified felt like the marriage should work out, but it not working out and me coming to understand that the plan of God will still prevail, then got me to a place of saying, Lord, I'm grateful that I'm still alive to pursue the plan that you have for my life. I will do it limping. I will do it bleeding. I will do it wounded.
Sure.
As long as it is done, I will do it. However, whatever means that is necessary for it to get done, I will do it. And listen.
She's doing the things. that is just so beautiful. I think me saying, or like one thing that I would say defines you is that you're a very resilient woman, because it's in these circumstances whereby you really, really now get to the core of why are you even Christian? Why do you believe in God? Like, do you believe in God because, promises good things, prosperity, and all of that? But the real test of your faith comes when you are going through the most, where you are going through circumstances that really, test your faith. They make you question
also
God.
Let me tell you, as I am questioning God and why I'm here, I get women older than me, women my mother's age, women inbox me, women call me, all of a sudden I'm the go-to girl. Women are calling me not knowing what's happening in my space. This is before the announcement. Hey, my marriage is not working out. Please pray for me. I pray with people. They give me testimonies. Their marriages are working out.
Well, your own marriage.
And I'm like, yo,
It's
God
failing.
is a scam. Because
I can imagine.
How? I can't.
Yo.
No,
You're
God, I'm not going to pray
yeah.
for them. I'm not going to pray for them. Listen, and mind you, I asked for people to pray for me. Because if my prayers are working for some people, then some people's prayers must work for me.
Surely.
But you know what Muruti told me? Muruti Masakona, I love that man. He said to me, as much as God hears you, you and your husband are both Christian. It cannot be your sole responsibility to desire for this marriage to work as God wants it, because you are not married to yourself.
Sure.
You are partnered with someone. And when the partner pulls away, there is nothing you can do for them. You can pray, but for someone who knows the Lord for themselves, someone who can reason with God for themselves, you
if
cannot.
They're not coming to the party, so
it's between them and their God. And they have an understanding with God, and you have yours defined. And it was really challenging, but Refentse, guys. Refentse.
Yeah, your name literally like
Refentse. We have won. For those who don't understand what it means, we have won.
Yeah.
We have overcome.
So, in a few words, how is life after divorce? I
am not pro-divorce. Just to be clear, I need to put forth that disclaimer.
We are not saying,
I am not pro-divorce.
Guys, yes.
I am not saying walk out of your marriage without trying. I'm not saying don't pray. I'm not saying don't seek counsel. All I'm saying is I came out of a marriage that I had hoped would work my whole life. Didn't work, sadly. But life after... I'm 30.
And you couldn't tell that.
I am 30.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
You are thriving in your 30s.
I am thriving in my 30s.
Living your best life.
The Lord is establishing me in ways I never thought I could be established. I've been desiring an active prayer life.
You are doing the things. That's beautiful.
We are growing in that. I have been wondering of God's plan for my life. I had ideas based on the prophetic words that were spoken, based on some glimpses of vision that I have seen. But now I stand confident because I know the full plan of God for my life. I may not know the details of it, but I stand confident. And I thank God that He has established me in faith. If there is an area of my life that was greatly impacted through my divorce, was my faith. It was challenged, but that challenging was for it to be built up. And you cannot tell me that God does not exist. You cannot tell me that God does not answer prayers. He answers, just not in a way that gratifies us. I'll come back to that. Just not in a way that we are gratified. He has answered. Somebody commented on my post and said, God answers, sometimes with a no and sometimes with a maybe. But because we never go to Him seeking, we always go to God for a yes.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever requested anything from someone hoping they would say no. We always hope for a yes.
And when that doesn't come, you think, you're like, God does not exist.
He didn't hear me.
He is not Santa. He is not a genie.
He's not a genie.
He's not a genie. Like, he does not say,
He does not live in a jar.
That's not how life works.
And say,
this is what I want.
I'll make a wish.
No, that
but I think more than anything also, I am happy that God has restored my love for people. I was dented. I was brutally dented. I would see people and I would just cringe. I would look at people and I'd say, things in my heart. But I thank God that part of me is healed. That part of me is restored. I have not come to a place of absolute healing, but I am not where I used to be. I have come a long way in the past year. On the 15th of June this year, when the magistrate said that the bonds of marriage are now dissolved, it pierced my heart like it was a new thing. And I trembled because I wondered, how am I going to wake up tomorrow a single person? Because as much as I've lived as a single person a whole year, I was still married. But when I walked out of that courtroom,
you're officially single.
I am single. How do I go about life as a single person? And the Lord has been a great answer.
That's beautiful.
For me, it is to go back to the Lord and say, let's restructure, let's redefine, let's plan afresh. Let's do what you want us to do.
Oh guys, we are running out of time. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Refentse, thank you so much for opening up. Thank you for being vulnerable with your story. I know that there's a lot of people who are going to be impacted by this. And I mean, like all things work together for the good. And I see you stronger than how you went into your marriage. Like there's just something, like there's the oil, the thing, man. Yes, there's something, and it's just so beautiful to watch you become. Stop it! I'm trying to be sentimental.
Sorry.
As I was saying, there's just something about watching you become and watching you continue to step into the woman that God has created you. And yeah, man, it's nice to be part of the people at the front row seat, seeing you cheering you on, tapping into who God has created you. And I believe that there's so many people who are going to be impacted, influenced, and changed by not only your divorce story, because it does not define you. That is not all. Yeah, like that is not all that you're divorced. Okay, sharp. There's so much more to you, and I believe that there's so much more that we're going to see from you and through you, and
Amen.
God using you. Thank you so much for availing yourself. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's long. I think this might just be my longest YouTube video.
It was worth it.
Yeah, but I hope that it was worth it. I believe that it was. If you watched it till this far, please put a few hearts, 3 hearts, Nyana, white hearts, sending love to Refentse to say we listened to you venting and talking about, not venting, but talking about your story. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Follow her on Facebook. She's very, very active on Facebook and always calling us out, rebuking us. I rebuke about prayerlessness. And listen, I made sure that I slept heaven spoken to my Father.
You did well.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that.
You're good and faithful servant.
Yes, I'm a better person today. I made sure. But you guys, thank you so much for watching this video.
I can't with this girl. Please, it's been real.
It's been real, guys.
We love
bye.
you. She's been saying bye.